Welcome back to Impact 2011 in the Solution Center. I'm Scott Lanningham, host of DeveloperWorks podcast, with my good friend Todd Watson, IBM tech blogger. And our guest this time is Charley Rich, Vice President of Product Management and Marketing at Nastel Technologies. Right, Charley?
You got it.
Welcome.
That's correct. Thank you.
What happened to all the white hair when you're from your country western singing days?
Well, I'm in hiding.
I'm sorry, I just had to do that. I'm sure half of our audience has no idea what that was just about.
Yeah, that's okay. Good in-joke is a way to start off an interview.
A little bit. Tell us about what Nastel does, because I'm sure a lot of people may have not heard of you. A few, anyway.
Certainly. Nastel Technologies is a software company. We've been around about 16 years. We're located in Melville, Long Island, which is about 40 minutes from New York City, Western Suffolk. Now, we were started 16 years ago by David Mavashev, our founder. He worked on the original port of Websphere MQ series to the IBM mainframe operating system, VSE. And he realized that there was a business opportunity. There wasn't much out there, or really anything, to manage this. And he had the vision to see that this was going to become widely adopted for complex composites, SOA applications, and other things. And he started a company with that as his initial idea. He then went on to grow that business to include Java, pretty much the whole WebSphere product line, kicks on the mainframe, and other messaging products, from other firms that are out there as well. And the company's been very successful with over 200 customers, mostly in financial services. Firms like Barclays Capital. I bring that one up because their global director of middleware was here yesterday presenting the solution that we've done with ourselves, Nastel, IBM, and Solace in being a single point of control for all of their middleware. So we're really excited. We monitor Citicorp's middleware in over 110 countries, and I believe we're in every single Best Buy store in the world.
Best Buy?
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, among others. So very focused. We're what we call an application performance management solution. We track applications, the different transactions, as they go from the distributed to the middleware and the mainframe, measure their performance, and predict problems. And this is very important to customers because instead of reacting and then trying to fix, which is very expensive, we can get ahead of the curve and let them know that a problem's going to happen and give them a chance to resolve this before customers are impacted. You might think of this as a closed-loop approach to managing and monitoring applications.
It's just, it makes me think it's just another example of why partnering and teaming across the industry between companies is just so critical to make all this stuff happen.
Absolutely. There's so much technology, so many issues out there. Bringing partners together is a way to be innovative and solve these issues much more quickly.
So to the point of some of these issues, I'm curious what, over the last year and maybe even looking ahead in the tea leaves a little bit, what have been your customers' biggest challenges coming out, especially out of the downturn and starting to think about investing again and hopefully building out? What are they concerned about? Okay,
very, very good question. It's very interesting. During the recession, it was sort of just keep the ship afloat. We're not hiring, we're not growing. But what I'm hearing from customers now is that they want to grow. I've looked at some research from CIOs, the customers we talk to, and growing their business is really key. However, the problem they have is, in so many of them, that most of their IT talent, their top engineering talent, is tied up keeping the infrastructure running, and there's no one available to create new services. I'll give you an example. One of our customers in Latin America is Sky Telecom, and they do direct-to-home satellite. So they were all excited about coming out with what's called the triple play. I'm sure you know what that early adds, a quadruple play, and all of this, but they had no one to build it. And in order to do that, you need developers, operations, testing, all of this. Everyone was tied up working on that. So they brought in our product, Nastel AutoPilot, to try to get ahead of the curve so they could resolve these problems without needing every bit of engineering talent to do that. And the good news is they were very successful, and they were able to bring out their triple and quadruple play. So the moral of the story is, customers want to grow their business, but they need to find a way to rebalance their IT so that IT is used as that secret weapon, not just to maintain, but to grow. And we see that as a common theme amongst a lot of our clients. They look at the cost to keep a customer versus the cost to retain a new one, and they need to keep their service levels high so those customers are kept. And often that means growing the business to offer new services to those folks. And the only people who can do that is their IT. So the IT needs to become as productive as possible, and not the folks who are just fixing and keeping the machine running against all odds.
Let me get you to talk a little bit about, you said that this really did grow out of a Websphere relationship, Websphere MQ as the core, but I know on your site it talks about AutoPilot M6 suite, right, as well as the Websphere related models. Can you differentiate what those are for us, and maybe even talk a little bit more about what it actually does for Websphere users, Websphere MQ users?
Well, actually, let me start with our new announcement. We made an announcement related to Websphere yesterday at the show. We announced AutoPilot on demand for Websphere MQ. And this is a product to enable an MQ administrator to delegate views out over the cloud and other areas to the different users who need access to MQ data who don't have that access. Today it's a manual, laborious process. Using our new product with no agents, no installation, a web browser, suddenly in a cloud, a private cloud or virtual private cloud, MQ information can be made available to all these different constituencies. The rest of our solution, AutoPilot M6, handles the Java, the .NET world, the Kix transaction server world, and all of the competing messaging products that are out there as well. Most of our clients have many, many different brands of products, and they often look to Nastel to be a single point of control over those. Our AutoPilot Transaction Works traces transactions. These are IT methods, very, very low level, traces them across Windows, Unix, Linux, messaging, the mainframe, the cloud, and back, and stitches them together into business transactions. So when a customer says, what happened to my trade? And it's this trade number, IT immediately can say, you know what? It didn't meet its SLA in this message queue over here. It had a problem in Kix or DB2 on the mainframe. That's exactly the problem. I can solve it, and you're good to go. And that's what Transaction Works does.
I wish we had more time. They're telling us to wrap up, but before you go, I wanted to
Hope
make
this
sure
was helpful.
Oh, absolutely, and
Great.
we and easily could continue talking with you. But to find out more, where do people need to go to find you on the web? Just nasteltechnologies.com?
www.nastel.com. We'd love to have you with lots of white papers, videos, webinars, podcasts, and we'd love to share that with you.
NASTEL.com.
NASTEL.com.
Charley Rich from Nastel Technologies. Thank you, Charley.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Charley.
You're welcome.
We'll be back at Impact 2011 in just a minute.